sitting right now with Doogie Horner. He's a comedian, writer, and artist. Doogie, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to be here.
What do you think? This is New York Comic Con.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's a little nuts, right?
A lot of costumes. Yeah, like you said, a lot of people that I can tell. I'm like, I know you're some kind of Japanese
anime
character because you have a giant sword.
You're something,
but I'm not sure who you are.
Some kind of weapon of some sort. And it's always the hair. The hair kind of gives it away. You ever think?
Yeah, like spiky yellow hair, spiky pink hair.
Or like short, dark brunette hair, but like cut in a weird way.
Yeah.
Right? And they're wigs for the most part.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I know that you're here for a new book.
Yeah.
That you wrote. I want you to tell me a little about that. But your last book was called Everything Explained Through Flowcharts.
Well, actually, my last book was called 100 Ghosts.
Oh, okay.
And Everything Explained Through Flowcharts was before that.
Oh.
So 100 Ghosts was it's a little book. It's really I feel silly explaining it because it's exactly what the title says.
Really?
It's just 100 different ghost illustrations, and they're all variations on your basic sheep ghosts, like that little like the ram with the two eye holes.
The Halloween ghost, the typical Halloween ghost.
Yeah, so every spread is a different ghost, and so there's like a nervous ghost, he's tied in a knot. There's a performance artist ghost, he's like tacked up on a wall.
Stop. Are these just like from your imagination?
I copied them all from a Japanese website that you've never heard of, so I don't think I'll get in trouble. No, I'm kidding.
Way.
No, yeah. I just thought them up. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And then Everything Explained Through Flowcharts was before that.
Okay,
and
that's the one that intrigued me because I have a friend who does everything with charts.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like everything has to be a toss-up about what he's gonna do. He's a comedian as well and a writer.
Oh, cool.
And he did a whole thing a few years ago, and he can't decide to do laundry or. To go watch TV, so he makes a chart like about which way it would be better for him.
I think your friend's autistic.
I think it's amazing.
I think.
And then it becomes a game. I mean, I'm not a comedian, but his comedy was quite funny about it.
No, I mean, yeah, that's what I like about charts is it is like you said, your friend when he has trouble deciding things.
Yes.
They're a great way to organize the world and try to make sense of things, because most things have a pattern to them. If you take a look at them from a distance.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay.
I went to Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia, and I lived there for 15 years. And I went to school for graphic design and painting, and I've always loved books. So when I graduated, there are 2 publishers in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And so I applied to the 2. And I worked at Mattel Toys for a little bit, designing toy packaging. I worked on this series of remote-controlled cars called Combatics.
Okay.
They were supposed to be like these post-apocalyptic. It was like a really weird idea for children's toys. These were like post-apocalyptic. Yeah, they were like Mad Max, post-apocalyptic. So a lot of cracked red earth and green lasers. But anyway, so I worked there for a little bit, and then I finally got a job at Running Press, which is a publisher in Philadelphia. Okay. And then I worked there for a couple of years designing books. And then I went to Quirk Books, which is the other publisher in Philly. And they did, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. You ever heard of that book?
No.
Or Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Those are some of the books that we did.
That they do. Oh, okay, cool.
And I worked there for almost 10 years, and I was the art director there. And then while I was there, I started writing and illustrating my own books, and Everything Explained Through Flowcharts was the first one.
No, what inspired you to write your own book?
I started doing comedy around that time, and I went to a lot of shows, and I noticed that a lot of comedians told jokes about similar subjects.
Right.
And so the first chart I made was a universal comedy flowchart. I just mapped out all the different subjects that people usually talked about.
Interesting. Dating.
Dating, so yeah,
relationships.
Relationships.
I mean, off the top of my head, there's no comedian that gets up there and doesn't talk about where they are in life.
Yeah.
Or something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Right? That's a huge one. Mm-hmm. Well, what else?
And so that was the first chart I did, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and that was just for you.
Yeah, it was
you
just
did it for
fun.
Did you share it with anyone?
Yeah, my friend put it up on his website, and it actually got passed around a lot.
Really?
And then my second chart was about heavy metal band names.
Okay.
And I just did it because I thought it'd be fun.
Are you into heavy metal?
No.
Not really. Not particularly.
No. They got. I mean, I sort of like. I guess stoner metal, like The Sword, or what do you call Helmet? Like not rap rock. I guess they were early rap rock.
You're probably asking the wrong person.
Nobody likes rap rock.
I'm like, I know Megadeth and
Megadeth
that
is
kind
great.
of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like.
I used to bartend, and some guys would come in there and they would put that on all the time.
Megadeth?
And I have to say, I liked it. I wasn't like, it was just that time where you knew you couldn't really be talking to the locals. You just like, everyone just kind of did their own thing and it was like on in the background. Yeah. Okay, it's that time of the night, guys.
Yeah. And so then, well, so actually, okay, well, so this is a weird, so I made a couple charts and then a publisher asked me to write a book about being a comic.
Okay.
And so I wrote a sample and I included photos and some charts and stuff. And then I sent him that pitch and they didn't like it. But the editor felt bad because he had asked me to do this whole pitch. So he got me an agent to pitch it around.
Oh, wow.
And my agent, so my first agent, he was a mob agent. All the other people he represented were Donnie Brasco.
No way.
And Joey Bananas and those guys.
That's awesome.
So he was a real tough guy. Like, he told me, he's like, so I want to be your agent. I'm going to be your agent. And I said, all right, well, let me think about it. And he's
sure
like,
this is a legit
what the what are you thinking about? What are you, stupid?
What are
you want to
stupid?
think about it? And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you're my agent. And
your
so
friend was doing you a favor, and then if this is the only person that got you
I don't think you understand.
I think that
I'm
that
doing
was an
you a
inside
favor.
job. Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
Now hide this revolver.
In the book.
So he pitched the book about me being a comedian around. Nobody wanted it. But HarperCollins said, we like that chart you did.
Really?
Could you do a whole book of charts?
That's hilarious.
So then I did a bunch more charts, and then they bought that book.
So how did you like doing comedy? I mean, you're still doing it, correct?
I still do comedy, yeah.
So is that something you were just like, okay, I'm going to try this now?
I started doing comedy because I was, at that time I was illustrating and I was writing, and those are very solitary, and you just like sitting in your room.
Yeah, you needed to get out and meet people.
Alone, and so I wanted to do something that was, the nice thing about comedy is it gets you out of the house, you're around people, and when you write something, like I've sold, relatively speaking, a lot of copies of my book. Probably, more people have read my books than have seen me do stand-up.
Right.
But you don't really get to like connect with those people or interact with them. And the really nice thing about stand-up is, even if it's a really small show, even if there are only 20 people in the crowd, even if they don't like what you're saying, you know they heard you.
Yes. So you're being heard. Your ideas are getting out there.
It's a way to connect with people, which is nice.
Awesome. Now, question, you were on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
How did you become a semifinalist? You were, right?
So, yeah.
But yet
Since nobody liked me?
Right. I had to do some research on you, and I'm watching this video, and you're being booed.
Yeah, I got booed.
But they voted for you. Howie Mandel voted for you. Sharon voted for you. Tell me about that experience, and then how it led you to be a semifinalist.
Well, so yeah, what happened was...
And how long ago was this?
I don't know, maybe 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
I was like 16. No, I'm very old. So the show was really long. The show I was on, it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York.
Okay.
And I was the second to last person
to go
on. So the show had been going on, I think, about 4 hours. The audience had been watching people, and I think they had been there for about 6 hours. I had been there for 10 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody just wanted everyone to go home. And so I went up and I told, I think, 1 or 2 jokes. Half the people started booing me. Half the crowd started booing me. There were 5,000 people there. So
oh my gosh.
2,500 people were booing me.
Yep.
And then the judges, I don't know if you've seen the show before, but they have buzzers.
Yes.
And they tell you ahead of time, they go, if you get buzzed, it's going to be very loud, just so you know. But just keep going. Just ignore it. Just keep going. But they didn't. They said it was going to be loud. They didn't tell you how loud. It was like an ear-splitting klaxon.
It like reverberated in your head.
Yeah, people are booing me, and then I'm in the middle of the joke, and I get buzzed, and so I screamed. It scared me. And I went, ah! And I said the F word, which they had to bleep.
That's so funny.
And then everybody's booing me, and I got buzzed, and I've been here 10 hours, and I said, you're all terrible people. You're horrible. And half the crowd had been booing me, and then everybody booed me.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I was just like, you know what? You don't like me, I don't like you either. Like, you think, oh, you don't like me. You have it. Oh, okay. Let me tell you what I think about you. And they started yelling at people, and then they loved it.
That's so funny.
I don't know why they're like, yes, put us in our place. I'm a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh. You were just a human reacting to it at that point.
Yeah, I was just like.
There's no comedy in that. I mean, that sucks. That's a terrible position to be in.
Well, I've been in that position a lot.
Really?
I get, yeah, like.
So it was just like multiplied.
I'm used to it. Yeah, luckily I was sort of used to it.
So then the two of them voted for you. You got past. And then did you do better the next few rounds?
Well, the next round was in Vegas, and you're alone with the judges. So it's really bad for a comedian because there's nobody, there's no audience. It's just the judges, and they're just like, okay, go ahead.
Right.
And you could hear the cameramen laughing. But so then I made it past that round, and then the third round was in Los Angeles, and I didn't know what to do because I'm like, I think nobody would like my jokes if I told them.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to. I was like, I can't just like yell at people again. So for the third set, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. They ask you, they go, what do you need? What do you need for your act?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people on the show, they're like 20 Indian girls dancing, or it's like a magician, and he's like, I need a train so I can make it disappear.
Right.
And I was like, I just need a microphone. But then I asked them, I said, well, what if I wanted like pyrotechnics? And they said, we can do that.
Oh my gosh.
So I came up with this whole plan I was like, we'll have all sorts of crazy stuff happening during my act, but I'm oblivious to it.
Right.
Or I don't realize. So at the beginning of my set, I'm like, the producers told me to put a little more razzle dazzle in my act, but I'm not going to do that. And then like fireworks go up behind me and all these things. And they gave me everything I asked for, except
oh my gosh.
I said at the end of my act, I want a herd of teacup pigs to run out on the stage. And they said, well,
that's pushing it.
They said teacup pigs, it's a rare animal, they're very expensive, and we got to get a trainer, and there's all sorts of regulations. And I said, okay, what about children dressed up as pigs? And they said, we're not even going to discuss that. I said, okay, men in pig outfits, and they crawl out on all fours.
Oh my gosh.
And they said, what about beautiful dancing girls? And I was like, are you listening to me at all? And they said, can dancers, and I said, are they wearing pig masks? And they said, okay. and then they just did it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a lesson in like ask for what you want and see what you can get. Just go with it. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
And then for the fourth round, I did kind of a roast. Like I made fun of the other contestants.
And people liked it.
They also gave me some. I wanted a man in a white dinner jacket to hold my microphone the whole time. They're like, that's expensive, because you got to pay that guy scale or something.
Right.
And so I said, all right, can we have a flaming hoop and a mini trampoline? And they said, you're not going to jump through it, are you? And I said, no, I'm just going to act like I might. And they go, okay. And they're like, Brett, wheel out the flaming hoop.
Unbelievable.
Get the mini tramp. And they just did it.
That's so crazy. Well, congratulations with all of your success.
Thank you.
The name of your book out right now is?
Some Very Interesting Cats Perhaps You Weren't Aware Of.
The longest title ever.
Sorry.
And he will be signing in a booth. Where are you? Oh, you're gonna be in a panel.
No.
What are you gonna be doing?
I'm gonna be at the Workman booth doing a signing.
Oh, it is a booth. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what number it is. I guess I should have known that.
Go find him. It's Doogie Horner. Doogie, thank you so much for joining me. You're hilarious.
Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. You guys, sit right there. We're going to have so many more guests coming up today, third day of Comic-Con in New York 2015. Sit tight. We'll be right back.